G's, yeah. 4 G's, 4 G's, 4 G's, let's go. 4 G's, 4 G's, 4 G's, look. Full syndication, full elevation, all generations, we already made it. Shot, Dot, Malcolm, Chris the King, plus the Doc. You know that's like 4 G's. Sports mind. Real world, real problems, real news, real sports. We gon' let you know right here on 4 G's, 4 G's.
Once again, 4Gs is back in the building. But before we get started, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button so you know when we come on. All right, this is episode 11. We're going to do this a little bit different. But first, I'm the OG.
I'm the king.
Hey, you know what it is. You got the doc.
And today, to help us out with our special show, which we'll get into just a little bit later is Donnell D. Knight. What's happening, sir?
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Thank you for being here. And before we really get started, let's announce the winners from episode 10. All right? All right. We're going to go with Jorge Espinoza, Debbie, the yoga lady, Joel Kunkel, okay, and Ronald Foster. Thank you very much for knowing the answers to those questions, and thank you for being a subscriber and a viewer. All right, like I said, today's show is a little bit different. We're going to do the NCAA college basketball bracket, but we're doing it a little bit different. We have 10 teams, mine, the king, and the doc, and D will be the judge and decides who wins. All right? So,
first tie ever.
So you can tell this show's gonna be crazy off the rip. All right. So I'm gonna go with the king first, go to Doc, and then we'll come to me. State your teams. Start talking trash.
Okay. D, checks in the mail, baby. So I got the 95 UCLA Bruins.
Okay.
Number 1. I got the 94 Razorbacks. And I got the back-to-back champions, Florida Gators.
All right. Okay. That's cute.
Yeah, that's cute.
Well,
that's all right.
Put no OG teams in there, man. You going with the younger heads, right? Okay.
No, we're going all time.
All time OG.
Okay. All right, I got you.
And you go ahead and get that refund ready for King, because it ain't gonna matter. Right off the rip, I got the 1990 UNLV Running Rebels.
Okay.
Then I got Michigan's Fab Five.
Okay.
Can't lose.
And then to top it off, I got, championship basketball team 97 Arizona Wildcats.
All right, that's cute too. I mean, y'all stayed in the 90s and all that. You young boys, I can tell that.
Right.
I can tell.
Just
all right. My team, let's start off the 72 UCLA Bruins. All right. Then I'm jumping to the 82 North Carolina Tar Heels. Then I'm going to top that with the 83 Fly Slamma Jamma.
Okay.
And we threw in the old 12 Kentucky squad. All right. So
some more Wildcats on the table. Hey, this is going to be the college basketball bracket of all time episode. All right. As we said, D's going to listen in to all of our arguments as we go through the bracket, and he's going to determine who wins.
D will also look into team stats, rankings, offense, defense, players on the team, championship year, overall record, and his comments will be heavily evaluated, of course.
All right. So I guess we're going to kick it off. We already determined the seed. My 72 UCLA Bruins, number 1 seed, going against the 10th seed, the 12 Kentucky Wildcats. All right. Well, since we picked the team, so Doc and King will argue for the 12 Kentucky squad. Since it's 2-on-1, I'm gonna let y'all argue first. So go ahead.
I was gonna say a few comments, and I'm gonna leave it at what it is. How many of those guys from Kentucky went pro?
I don't know how many.
5, 6,
5.
I think it was 6.
That was just in the lottery, King.
Yeah, that man. Pro man, that was a pro ran offense, pro system, and like D said earlier off air, all they did was roll the ball out there at practice, do y'all thing.
Do your thing.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, you had Julius Mays at guard, you had Willie Cauley-Stein as your big out there, alongside Nerlens Noel. I mean, that was a double trouble. Twin Towers, they're still in the league today. Don Hood was no joke at forward. You know, they were a team to be reckoned with, especially that year. They pretty much ran through the NCAA.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. What was their record that year, gentlemen? Please, I'm not sure. I didn't hear you. No one say that.
Let's see. They're the number 1 seed. I know that.
No, number 1 seed. That's cute.
How many games did they lose?
I don't know. That's not my squad. I can't. I'm not. I don't know.
I don't think they lost more than 3.
Okay, no more than 3. We'll give you no more than 3. That's cute. That's cute.
That's cute. That's cute.
All right. Are y'all done with your argument?
Yeah. We're done with the 38-2 Kentucky Wildcats that went 16-0 and
went professional.
38-2. 38-2.
38-2.
Who you got, Doc?
Well, Kentucky. King and I are both with Kentucky on this one.
Okay.
All right. Now for the 72 Bruins, they also had 6 players go to the NBA.
Cute.
2 are Hall of Famers. 2 got rings. Walton, Jamal Wilkes. I'll just leave it at that. The second stat, can you say started one of the nation's longest runs? They went 30-0. 30-0.
With the chip?
With the championship at the end. I'm done.
They didn't play nobody back in the 70s, man. They were wearing chucks and high socks with stripes.
Hold up. Hold on. The argument is Bill Walton.
Stop it.
Bill Walton didn't even know where he was at.
That dude had bad knees in the 3rd grade, man. Stop it.
He was hanging out with the Grateful Dead more than he was at practice.
That dude was like 42 at a sophomore in college.
Oh my gosh!
Stop. So
both those squads were. Kentucky won.
So what you're saying is the level of competition back in '72, athleticism wise, would beat that Kentucky squad? Are you kidding?
No way.
What's in your cup? What's in your cup?
How many people on that squad won ring? What has any of those 6 people done in the NBA? I'll wait.
They could not compete with them on an athletic level. I'm not saying that they weren't good. I'm not saying that. If they went square head to head, athleticism will take precedent over that squad you just named. Period. Who was on their bench on that UCLA team that went pro? Was there somebody on the bench?
Was
there a redshirt freshman?
There were 6 of them. There were 6 of them.
That went pro. Okay, so that squashes that, right?
Right. 30-0.
What kind of competition did they play back then in '72?
What kind of conference?
Competition.
Was
there any competition back then? Western Texas.
Across the board, half the people in '72, '73.
Hey, all I'm saying
is still in the NBA.
If you match them up,
how many on the 012 has done anything in the NBA?
If you match them up head to head, are you saying that they can compete with them on an athletic level?
Correct.
Man, somebody get his cup. Something's in it.
Wait.
I don't care what nobody said. Something's in it.
Nerlens Noel would
win all day. Remember that. Old man wins all day.
They can run with them. They can run with them. Is that what you're saying? They can compete.
Oh, we going in their prime? Yes.
Stop! Oh my God!
Yeah.
That is unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
Right, they was number one.
Stop it. That is that you're being unrealistic. Only because you got the jersey on. That's why you're saying.
Hey, no losses, huh? No L's.
They didn't.
No
play
L's, baby.
Who did they play?
3 times. That's all that matters.
They lost against 3 top 10 teams.
They lost to non-top 10 teams.
2. They lost 2.
Now what?
Oh my God.
Oh
my God.
Go ahead, Donnell. I'm waiting on D.
OG, I don't know what to say to you right now. I am shocked. I'm shocked.
I'm shocked.
Oh man, that's funny.
D, you got to pick a squad on this one.
All right,
and be realistic. If they've matched up right now,
I'm gonna have to go with UCLA. The only reason they have arguably the best player to ever play the game. Yeah, the best player to ever play the game. Unstoppable shot that's never been matched. Hands down, he's the GOAT of the game. Yeah, I've been taught by the OG. So all my OGs say is Lou Alcindor. I'm sorry, man. Because those look, the athleticism, I ain't gonna lie. That'll be an issue. But the way that Coach Wooden and the way that he ran his offense and everything that he was doing, I mean, he controlled that whole area. So I'm going to have to run with UCLA on this one. And I'm a Pac-12 guy, so, you know.
That's the only reason.
All right. So let me ask you this before we move to the next round. Who had the better coach?
UCLA.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't argue that.
All right. Next round. We have the 90 UNLV Running Rebels. Me again against the 83 Fly Slammer Jammer.
Oh.
Thugs versus High Flyers. Here we go.
I tell you what. I don't think. I know your squad had Ralph Sampson and Akeem. I don't think any of them wanted the Larry Johnson problems. And that's where my argument is cemented. Larry Johnson was a different kind of animal, and he even continued that on into the league. Grandmama didn't play. And I think Ralph Sampson and Akeem would have had to do a lot of switching on him, even though he was a smaller power forward. He was of that Barkley pedigree, but maybe a little bit stronger and faster. So to me, running Rebels all day long.
That's cute. I like that. Off of your running Rebel squad, yes, what y'all had? 4 or 5 people went to the pros?
Yeah, that's 5.
Okay. It's 4 from the Rockets, from the Cougars. You got that one on that. But 2 of them, Akeem and Clyde the Glide, I don't know what you're going to do with Akeem in the middle. No one was stopping that man in the middle.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing is Larry Johnson didn't get enough credit for his post defense because of his strength. I mean, he had guarded Akeem in the league and actually was one of the few that gave Akeem some problems because of his strength. And I don't think that would have been any different in college. And then you got Stacey Augmon and Greg Anthony, who are also both lottery picks. We're talking about 3 guys that went lottery picks right there. Stacey Augmon shot with butter, and he was one of those early slashers that really defined that different slashing game for those guard forwards.
That's true. That's true. I give you that. But if Akeem did work to Shaq, you telling me Larry Johnson is stronger than Shaquille O'Neal?
No, I didn't say Larry Johnson. Look, nobody's stronger than Shaq. I'm saying he was a different kind of player down low in the post.
Okay.
Because he was quicker. He was quicker than Shaq.
All right. And they went 31-3 with a 16-0 in their conference.
Well, we're talking. I mean, now we're talking about two teams that they both won a national championship. Like, here's my thing. Here's the deal. I don't care if they went 31-3 and 20-20. What counts is the NCAA tournament, and UNLV went ahead and beat Duke in the championship, and Duke's an all-time. We're talking blue blood.
All right.
They beat Duke convincingly.
Convincingly.
Yeah, they did. I will give you that. They made them look real bad. All right, that's all I can give you for Houston.
I think personally, I think Stacey Augmon would give Clyde some issues based on his length. Not say that he would stop him, but he would give him some problems.
Yeah.
I think where LV probably had the edge. Their point guard play was nice, man. They played the position to a T. Was it Greg Anthony, Anderson Hunt, H. Wallman off the bench? They had a nice solid squad.
You had Jordan Adams out there.
Shooting lights out, man. That dude was lights out all the time. He can shoot from anywhere. So,
Anywhere.
Did they have threes back then?
For Houston?
Oh man.
Oh. Hey, even if they didn't have threes, they still was doing work. So
they were doing work.
They were doing work. Yep.
So that's all. Hey, that's all I'm gonna give you on them. What you got for us, D?
So I'm thinking, man, I'm gonna have to work with UNLV on this one, man. UNLV, hands down. I ain't gonna lie. I think Kentucky is mimicking what UNLV did back then.
Yeah.
UNLV is like, they on a whole nother level, man. Like back then, those guys, they were playing like for real pros. I don't think college seen that. You know what I mean? And then we seen the Fab Five, and then we kind of I feel like they started to jump that air, especially with a lot of black players on their team. Half of their whole squad was all black guys on their team, man. So we start seeing that, and those dudes in Vegas putting on a show, they were smacking cats up, man. After that, the Shark was like, he was the man after that. After that, UNLV, that really solidified his career and put him to a whole nother class of coaches. He was so good there with that team that they didn't even care if he was cheap. So, he got away with murder, man. The only thing about Houston I didn't like is that after Hakeem and Ralph knows, I don't really know anybody from that team. And I don't think Hakeem was an offensive threat as he was as in the league. In the league, I felt like he was much better in the NBA than he was in college. Sometimes
he refined himself much later in his career, I think.
Right, I agree. And Ralph Sampson, he was all right, but I think he just happened to be one of those dudes like Shaq. When you're so big in college, everybody just lay in your lap. You can't really expand your game. That's why he was a better pro, I think, than in college. If people just throwing you up. So I'm at the roll UNLV because it didn't matter. They had shooters, athleticism. They had bigs. They had. They was. We haven't seen a team like that since Kentucky.
Yep.
So UNLV moves on to the next round.
Yep.
Now we have coming up the 3 seed 95 Bruins versus the 8 seed 97 Wildcats of UNLV. Of U of A.
Okay.
Ooh.
It's tough on you.
Go ahead, King.
Nah, you go ahead and go first.
You want me to go first? All right, here. Check this out. The Wildcats, coached by the legendary Lute Olson, who really changed the game in the University of Arizona, especially in the Pac-12. They didn't. So this is where we go a little bit different, right? They didn't have a bunch of big names. Okay, you had Mike Bibby, who had a stellar NBA career. Jason Terry, who is 85 and I think still playing somewhere, and you had Miles Simon, who was a very underrated guard. The bigs were Donnell Harris, and AJ. Was it Bramlett?
Bramlett, yep.
Yeah, and they beat the this is something I probably should save for later on in these arguments after I move on. But they actually beat 3 different number ones on their way to their national champion.
That's cute. How about my
so disrespectful?
Are we talking about UCLA, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this: O'Bannon brothers. Who was stopping them in college basketball at that time?
Making it tough on Chris.
Who was stopping them? The NBA.
Who was stopping them? Not him. Them.
The NBA.
Toby Bailey. They ran a fast break, almost like a UNLV type offense. They ran the ball didn't touch the floor. If you wasn't scoring 80 points or more, they was gonna run you up out the gym. Period.
That's all that was to
it. They all can shoot. They all can rebound. They played good together. They won a ship. They went against a bunch of top dog teams, just like U of A did. But like I said, the O'Bannon brothers were a problem. They were a problem. They were a consistent problem. Okay. Every night. It's hard to beat 2 of them. Not just 1, 2. There were 2 of them. And I'll leave it at that.
Okay. You said they did, so they did win the national championship their year.
They did.
Yeah.
Convincing.
Yeah. I mean, you said 97 and 92. It ain't that far between, so they kind of overlapped and played each other. I'm hoping.
I was hoping so, but those were 2 different squads. So
right.
I would have loved.
So that was a beautiful watch. That would have been nice to watch. I
would have loved for them to actually have a head-to-head. I think the difference is, so UCLA really relied on those 2-3 stars, whereas U of A really relied on the coaching and how the players bought into that system.
O'Bannon brothers.
Let me ask this though: did the O'Bannon brothers beat 3 other number ones on the way to their NCAA championship, or did they just beat tune-up squads?
I would say I think they beat 1. I think it was, okay. But I want to say it was a Duke. It was a Duke. It was a solid Duke squad.
Yeah.
UNLV. I'm sorry. You said late that. I'm telling you, man. If you go back and you watch,
they had to be missing a year too.
You watch their style of play. They led the nation in rebounds. They led the nation in 3-point percentage. They were solid, man. They were solid.
Okay. They didn't beat Kansas, North Carolina, and Kentucky to get to their championship.
Man, we're talking about if they were the matchup. They had no answer for the O'Bannon brothers.
I don't know, man. You see Bibby, he's all swole up, looking like he's allergic to Arizona.
Man, that's too much Starbucks.
Yeah, crazy, bro.
Go ahead, D.
So, man, this is tough. I ain't gonna lie. This is the toughest one to me. Because you made some good points, Chris. When you came with the O'Bannon brothers, man, I grew up on them. I was a fan of the UCLA program. But with that being said, I'm going to have to roll with U of A. Hey, the reason why it's 2 things. One, I'm a little biased to the Arizona thing, being from Arizona. Then Mike Bibby was I would say like a big brother to us. He kind of put on for the city for us, and he opened up so many doors, man, helped change my life, other guys' life. So he affected more guys by winning that championship here that I know. And when he did that, man, it just kind of made the younger guys around here dream bigger. And when he did that, changed the game. UCLA was already understood as a power, but that solidified U of A of guys getting drafted but never really getting that championship. And then once U of A did that, it was like there was a powerhouse for them. It was a wrap.
And really, Bibby paved the way for putting Arizona basketball on the map. I think Richard Jefferson, for instance, really benefited from what Bibby did.
Yeah, no, we all did, man. I'm telling you, I was blessed to be underneath that. Nike came through, sent a bunch of money. Arizona Stars is all over the place, and people knew about Phoenix besides the BCI. So I'm gonna have to roll with U of A on that.
I am shocked to hear ASU alumni picking U of A.
Right. And what's crazy?
That's how good they were.
Started to go the other way from that, but I'm 10 years removed. So I'm saying I'm good. It's you know what I mean? 10 years out the way. If you 10 years out the way, you can do that.
Right.
We Pac-12. We Pac-12.
Hey, Chris, don't underestimate the power of pandering.
I am crushed right now.
Here we go. Next round.
All right.
That was a tough matchup. I ain't gonna lie.
82 Tar Heels versus the 94 Razorbacks.
Ooh. Well, I can't wait to hear this.
That's tough because that's MJ era, right?
Family against family.
That's the shot.
That's MJ era, right?
Yeah, that's the shot.
Do we have to debate this, fellas?
I'm not gonna say nothing.
Do we have to do this?
I'm just gonna say Tar Heels.
At least let me throw a jab. At least let me throw
Go
a
ahead.
jab.
Okay, you
I
say.
already know what he gonna say. He gonna say Michael Jordan.
No. Let's go through the round. Let's see what happens. Let's go.
No, go ahead. I'm not gonna even say Michael Jordan.
D. Who created the amoeba defense? Nolan Richardson.
Okay.
How many times that defense caused every team problems in collegiate basketball?
Right. They say defense is championship.
They will take your main man totally out of the game. Your man that averages 30 points will now have 12. Period. And you better have a nice backup, or that amoeba defense will eat him up. It'll eat all, and it's 90 feet. Stick what they call it, 60 minutes of hell.
Yep.
That defense was something to watch, man. You had to see it to believe it. They caused UNLV problems.
Right.
They gave Greg Mama issues. They gave Greg Anthony issues. They shut down a lot of top dogs.
I agree.
And they got a lot of points on transition defense. Right. And they also led the nation in steals, block shots, and transition points. Oh yeah, I did my research.
But you know what's crazy? They shooting the ball was terrible, man. I don't know.
Oh, they couldn't shoot the ball to save their life, but they transition defense was off the chain.
All I have to say is I'm gonna take a line from D earlier. After that squad, I've never heard from Arkansas again. Never. Nolan Richardson, I don't know where he is.
He retired.
Dean Smith. Enough said. D, I'm turning it over to you.
Okay. So now I'm gonna tell you this first, man. I'm biased to North Carolina. I've been a big North Carolina fan forever. But just on this argument alone, Chris made a valid point. That defense, for those years that he had the team, everybody on that team went pro for the most part on that Arkansas team. Corliss Williams actually ended up being one of the best big men probably ever to come out there besides, Joe Johnson, those dudes that came out. But that era, I would put them against anybody. I mean, I ain't never seen guys that era of basketball created jobs for pros. To say that, hey man, you don't got to be a scorer. You could be a defensive guy, and that really did spark it. So he did help change the game, and that's what I try to, pick for in these things. Which one of these coaches brought some to the game that we never had? And he brought some to the game because nobody has ever been able to mimic what he did with that team as far as playing defense. So I'm gonna have to go.
That defense was something to
nobody has ever pressed like that again. I mean, coaches all over the world created press breakers just to beat them, and they couldn't do it. Nobody could master it. I've never seen a coach mastermind defense. And then a little bias again, backstory. My coach was under him, so Nolan Richardson was his mentor. So I actually played that same defense in college, and that shit makes you work. So
yeah.
Yeah, man, it's hard work. I got to take my hat off to them because not only did that, they put up a lot of points, like you said, on the offensive end while maintaining that pressure. That's hard to do. No other college team has done that again.
It was a track meet.
Yep.
Yeah. That was full court. That was defense. Full court.
You picking a Razorback?
The Razorbacks on this one, fella.
Oh, yeah.
Woo. All right. I didn't think I had to say no names, but I guess I should have said names.
Yeah, you could have poured it on me. MJ was cool, but man, they probably would have beat MJ up, man.
Well,
you had James Worthy, you had Perkins,
True.
You had Matt Doherty. Yeah. I'm telling you,
I think Noah Richardson was a tougher coach than Dean Smith.
Yeah, we had 9 guys who played defense non-stop.
And played. I mean, them dudes was out there working.
And really, MJ didn't become MJ until that shot of that game, and then went off the next year.
Yeah, well, I feel like his coach held him back a little bit.
Yeah, that could be true.
Yeah, but remember, MJ wasn't the person you had to worry about. It was James Worthy.
Oh yeah, Worthy. Yeah. Well, Worthy's the reason he got that shot.
Well, it's funny. Really, we had to worry about Sam Perkins. That's really who was the man in the same style. Right. Sam Perkins was killed.
Oh, Sleepy himself.
Yeah. But man, that defense.
Here we go. Last round.
Yep.
90, the 06, 07 Gators against the Fab Five.
Woo.
Hey, look, we're talking about two teams that did go back-to-back to the championship.
One of them won back-to-back, and the other one.
No, I'm saying.
Yeah.
My thing here is Michigan had a legit starting 5. They had Jalen Rose. They had Chris Webber. They had Juwan Howard. They had 2 other players that didn't even get the accolades. I felt like they fell into the shadows of those 3 guys, but I felt like they were more of the locks and keys to this team in Ray Jackson and Jimmy King. And for me, I think they kind of ushered in the new era of basketball. I mean, they had more swag about them on the court. They wore their shorts baggy and not and I don't want to use the term I was going to use, but way up, riding high. Those shorts. They brought in the new era. So I think even though they didn't. You're right. They didn't win the championship. They did go back to back. They didn't win. I wish they would have stayed together one more year because I think they would have taken the hardware home the next year. But they ushered in a new style of play and really led the way for the next generation of basketball.
All I gotta say is back-to-back winners, not back-to-back second place. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
You need first or last.
It's hard enough to get there and win, but to win it 2 times in a row, I mean that's tough, man. And they put up numbers. They had length. They also played a nasty, aggressive defense in the paint, outside the 3-point line. They shot the ball decent, but their inside game was something to mess with. They were just long. They were a long squad. Now, I'm not taking anything away from the Fab Five because I was a Fab Five fan. Chris Webber would have gave them issues, but I do believe Chris Webber would have gotten foul trouble immediately. And Juwan Howard would have to take over at that spot. But with that being said, I think Florida's defense was better. The swag that the Fab Five had is unmatched. But they didn't win. In order for you to be considered a champion, you got to win a championship. And Florida did it twice.
So they had Joakim Noah and Al Horford, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Who else was there?
Corey Brewer.
Corey Brewer. Okay. So Corey, I think Jalen Rose wins that matchup.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't. You're probably putting Horford on Webber and Joakim Noah on Juwan Howard.
You could, or vice versa, either one.
Or that's
players that was really good. Miller and what's the kid that played for Dallas? 6'10", kind of point guard, white guy. Played for Dallas and he got bounced around the league, broke his leg. He was there at Florida with them too.
Oh, he's overseas now, right? Is he overseas now?
Parsons. That's what I'm talking about.
Parsons. Oh, Chuck Parsons?
Yeah.
So, Not Chuck Parsons.
Not Chuck.
Chandler Parsons.
Yeah, Chandler Parsons. That's what it was.
You notice how it took a while to remember his name, but we knew the Fab Five immediately?
Everyone knows the Fab Five. they're national. They're a rock star.
That was a good play. You sneaky. I like that.
They're a rock star. I was a Fab Five fan.
Yeah,
I love
that's tough. I mean, that's tough, man.
But to win back to back, to go to a championship is already hard enough. To win back to back, that speaks volumes, man. It does.
All right, D, give us your answer.
Man, I'm gonna have to roll with Florida, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to roll with Florida.
I can respect that.
Florida to me, like that era, because that changed Florida basketball. Billy Donovan, I mean, for the next 6-7 seasons, they were always going to Elite Eight, and then that just sparked them to the league. And he had so many pros on there. Actually, Corey Brewer was one of the guys that won back-to-back championships in the NBA and in college. There's only 6 players ever. He's one of the 6. So that says a lot, man. And I just think about that team they had for the next few years. They was just having pros just fall through there.
Yeah.
Left and right. I mean, Bradley Beal. I mean, all these dudes, you know. So I have to roll with Florida.
And it did lead Billy Donovan, you know, to the NBA.
It showed me that he was a better coach than I thought he was, to be honest with you.
I had to pull out the punches to try to beat that because it's hard enough. The back-to-back championship, you know. What else are you gonna say? I mean,
most guys,
that is so hard to do. Yeah.
Right, and then what the last thing is with Florida, the way they did it, their records those years were crazy, man. When they won those championships, they didn't lose that much. That's hard to do back-to-back years and keep guys that are first rounders to have them come back and trust them that we're going to have a good system to still allow you to get better, maybe get drafted in the lottery. Half of those groups are already going to go first round. Then that is just for sure a lottery pick after you win those 2 championships.
And the Gators were hyped back then because I think they had Tebow doing this thing back then too.
Yeah.
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 Now we're going on to the next round.
All right.
Now this is a tough matchup. We got the number 1 seed, 72 UCLA Bruins, against the number 2 seed, 90 Running Rebels.
All right. You guys going to go? Y'all want to talk about it or you want me to go straight to it?
I don't have too much to say at this point.
I think we pulled all the arguments out.
Yeah, so it's basically it's on you, D.
I'm going to have to roll with UCLA winning this one, man. I think the bigs that they got, like I said, I don't think nobody on UNLV can mess with Lou Alcindor, man. He was that guy.
Oh, yeah.
He was that dude.
LJ ain't going to do nothing with that. That skyhook was lights out.
Then again, I go to coach, and I feel like Coach Wooden could out-coach the Sharp.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
But because Wooden would just throw people at Ogden, so he would get.
Well, his players are more disciplined.
Right.
You see, UNLV, a bunch of brothers. They was athletic. We didn't have to do much, but UCLA had a program, had a system.
Yeah.
And it worked year in, year out, and they won championships back to back to back. It's a no-brainer now. I think they was just a better coach team.
All right. Now, we got AC 97 Wildcats and the 7 seed 94 Razorbacks. You guys care to make any more arguments or throw it straight to D?
I'm gonna just say one more. The eras Lute Olson had those Wildcats playing defense too. Not like the Razorbacks. I mean, that's another level of defense. But Lute Olson knew how to strategize against defenses. And that's what made them so successful in Arizona. Because like I said, they didn't have a bunch of superstars to lean on other than their guard play, which is something that's going to take you through and win the national championship.
What'd you say, Chris?
Amoeba defense.
Oh my.
Okay.
So
Okay.
defense.
When we talk about U of A in the last segment or before this, when they made it to the second round, saying they beat 3 number 1 seed. Well, I'm looking at the tough matchup with Arkansas. I think on this one, to be honest with you, I feel like Arkansas might beat U of A up in that team. Mike Bibby, that wasn't a high-scoring offensive team. Mike Bibby was the person to come in and kind of offset that. And that took him. That's how they ended up beating. I mean, most of those games, they were losing. So I feel like at the defense of Arkansas, the way they was playing and the guys that they had, they would beat U of A. They would have beat U of A in that second.
They would have keyed in on Bibby.
They would have keyed it. They would have D'd up. They would have D'd up to all those guards and made the bigs go to work, and they didn't have that. And they
didn't have the big play to handle that.
Their defense was no joke on those guards. I'm sorry. And they had big guards at Arkansas.
Yeah.
For the record, they played 9 people on that roster.
Yeah.
9.
Which kept people fresh.
Playing time.
Yeah.
That's tough, man. When you play when you play a press like that, and you bring off 4 more guys off the bench to give you the same defensive presence and don't lose a beat.
Yeah,
that's hard to beat, man.
I said that'd have been a tough loss. That'd have been a close game, but I feel like Arkansas would have definitely beat it.
All right. So now we're in the quarters. We have 3 teams. So the highest seed moves to the semis.
Okay.
Sorry. You know who the number 1 seed was, so UCLA moves on. Not an argument. Oh, that's Chris and Chris. Oh. Now this is going to be interesting. Chris, you cannot say anything because both of these are your teams.
Of course,
D. You have the 94 Razorbacks against the back-to-back champion Gators.
I'm gonna have to go with the Gators on this one, man. I'm gonna have to go with the Gators on this one.
You gotta go with the Gators.
Their offense was nothing, and they were getting up and down like that too. You understand? And they had Horford, they had Yoki, I mean, that squad. I was impressed with that team. Man. I ain't gonna lie. Florida had a good squad.
Yeah. And Horford, he's a big that can shoot too, so he's stretching the floor.
Yeah, and Yoki, it was funny because in college he was a more offensive threat.
Right? Yeah,
Okay.
until then he had to transition into that Rodman type of player.
Kind of like how they do wide receivers and move them to a punt return or something. So they get
right.
All right, here we go. It's the finals.
Let's
you want to add anything? It's the Bruins 72, the back-to-back champion Gators.
Say that again.
Say that
one more time. Say that one more time.
Oh, you talking about your back-to-back?
One more again.
You want to say back-to-back?
There you go. Okay.
You
should. Hey, don't open up that box. Go ahead, OG. Go ahead.
You want to open the box. You know that, right? Because this is the start. This is part or the start of 4 or 5 in a row.
Yeah.
Back to back to back to back
Hey,
to back.
Tell back. Hey. Now, do you really want to?
You know what? Drum roll.
And D, give us the winner.
UCLA, baby. Give it up for UCLA, man. All right, man, they got the gold. They got the gold, baby.
They got the goat.
I got to roll with it.
They got the
I
goat.
was raised under that. I mean, I'm still learning more and more about Kareem to this day. You know what I'm saying? Not that I really know Kareem changed the game, and with a coach like John Wooden, it was like, we never going to see that again.
No.
We're never going to see that type of coach and that type of struggling. And this dude is still the active, current leading scorer in the NBA of all time.
Right.
Nobody's ever mimicked his style.
He was the one that brought home when I first started playing basketball, he was the reason my dad always used to tell me, learn the hook shot because you can't stop the hook.
Man, you can't stop it. I mean, dude was shooting that every night. I mean, he played 40 years.
Yeah, minimum.
He had no choice.
You know what I'm saying? He played 40 years.
Remember, he couldn't dunk in college.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
So to be that big and to grab a rebound, your first instinct, I'm putting it right back in.
Right.
Yeah.
So you had to learn finesse. For a big guy, that was huge.
And you know what? To be fair, man, all these guys, they come under somebody before them, right? So these guys from Florida were chasing that. Hey, man, UCLA won back-to-back. Let's do that. So you got to kind of give it up for the OGs that before you that really did it, and that's sustainable. You know what I'm saying? You could really go back and look at Kareem's stuff, and you could physically see him sitting on the bench with the Lakers of a guy that do it. Most of these guys look old and beat up. You can't really share the experience. But with this guy, you could sit down and he look like he's still young, man, and tell you about how it really was in the league and seeing it develop. So we got to give it up for that. And plus, they were good, man. They was whooping, but they were good.
And that's the only guy that put a big footprint on Bruce Lee's chest.
Big fact. With platform.
That's
Right.
so Barda cake.
So I just had to give that.
UCLA is a hard place to beat against any college that we put up to. I'll be honest with you. It's hard to. I mean, they carved so much out of history in basketball that. Right. I mean, so they in every topic. I don't think anybody has more championships than them, right? They got the most championships.
Even in that decade, they won 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's totally different up there.
You know what I mean? That's
if you
8 out of
10.
10.
Well, when I was playing at ASU, when we went to UCLA, they even made U of A look like the little dogs. And U of A was kind of, the big dogs of the pack then. But when we went to UCLA, the respect of the whole pack is that at the arena. I mean, you could go in there and see the history of it, and they're still in that same gym until they just build a new one. But, man, just the whole aura of it, being on campus, being in the gym, actually seeing John Wooden, where he coached at and all that, man, it was like being in the Mecca.
Yeah. Well, and I think when we really look at even just this little brackets episode that we did, we're picking the piece that we're all shooting for UCLA, right? We're all trying to pick teams to beat that one, and that's what tells you that's the one.
Right. You're right about that, man. I always say whenever your peers in basketball tell you what it is, then that's what it is. Your peers will let you know what time it is, even if you think you are that good. They'll still bow down and say, hey, I don't know. This guy got it. And that's how the game go, right? To speak for itself. That's what's up.
Right.
Man, I appreciate this. It was fun, man. We got to do this again, man.
This was fun.
We might need to go to the NBA pros and pick squad. Your starting five and a bench player.
Like what we should do is like, hey, let's do a pick 6 players. One is a bench player, 5 guys, and we'll do position. And then we'll just kind of log through this time of the NBA season. Since it's a short season, we'll just do every 2 weeks. We'll say, well, what's your 6 look like? What are they averaging? Yeah. And we'll tally it, and we'll see which 4 of us win at the end. And then we'll change it up once playoff comes.
I like that.
Hey, that's something new.
He's an idea guy, I can tell.
I like that guy.
So, man, this is dope, man. Let's keep it going, man, and we get back on here, talk some more stuff. You know what I'm saying? I know Chris is mad at me. I'm going to have to come in, you know what I'm saying, take you to ATL Wings.
Hold up. ATL Wings? Hold on now.
You in town too?
Yeah, let's get that.
Don't pull my leg.
That's so disrespectful. I'm there.
The way to his heart, through his belly, man.
That's right.
Hey, and then they always say beg for forgiveness later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, D, man, I'm happy that you came on the show today, bro. And it was been a while since I've seen you. I know you were out overseas doing your thing with the trainings and all that other good stuff for the kids and the adults over there, man. Keep doing your thing. Hopefully when this Corona thing goes away, that you can go back over there and give your expertise and knowledge to those. And whenever you want to come out there and help our kids, man, I'm going to give you a shout out most definitely, man, because like I said, you paved the way for a lot of people in Arizona, man. I'm happy that you're on the show today, my brother.
Thank you, man. Real quick story for Chris, man. Give you a shout out, man. I met Chris, what was that, maybe 3 years ago or something like that for the job. Met him on the job that I was doing. Didn't really like what I was going on, and he actually hooked me up with a job where he was at. And then, man, I kind of went through some life changes there. But Chris always been a person that had my back, man. Then when I went to China, come back, things much better now. Got back into things that I've been doing as far as coaching and basketball. But Chris, as a man, I appreciate you, man. Always being there, being positive. I respect you a lot. and I hope our relationship continue to grow from here, man. So,
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
you know, the invite to your friends, and I appreciate it, man.
Oh, anytime, brother, anytime.
He aight.
Yeah, hey, man, he bought me lunch, man. I ain't never gonna forget that, brother. So I got
Hey, them wings was off the chain
yeah,
too,
we
brother.
got to do that. Go invite Big J out. You know what I'm saying? Put the squad together again, man.
Most definitely. Let's do that.
Let's do it again, but let's go ahead and pick that team, man. Especially when the season starts. Start on the 30th. So will everybody get to pick their 6 guys? You center, forward, you know, so on and so forth, and then one bench
I
guy.
like that.
And then we can kind of monitor them and see what we come up with before playoffs come.
Okay. I like that.
We'll get back to you on that because we definitely work that in.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm good. I'm signing off. I'll see y'all.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Okay.
One sec, because we want to thank all of you for watching, all of you for subscribing. You know, y'all been supporting us. We had great turnout for our trivia questions. We love and thank all of you, man. Everybody, please keep sharing our YouTube channel, our Facebook, our Instagram. Subscribe, and hit that bell.
I like that.
Let's give a shout out to the big one. Don't forget that.
Oh no, hold on.
Yeah, go ahead. Hey, yo.
This is the part.
I'm gonna start the shout outs. I'm gonna start the shout outs off. I'm gonna shout out my boys because they just got the email from their coach, you know, the Junior Lions, Liberty Lions. They're going back to work to defend their state football championship. So shout out to my boys, man, Scottie and Travis.
On me?
It's on you.
Well, last week, I just totally forgot to do something, and I made a huge mistake. Everyone gave a shout out to their spouses. Me. I wasn't on the couch, but I want to give a shout out to my wife, Kasuma Gossett, of 20 years. Thank you for all your support. I love you dearly. Thank you. I apologize. The couch is not comfortable, and my apology, please.
Respect. Man, shout out to my family, man. They have been going through some stuff with the COVID and everything. So shout out to them for always staying together, man, through this time, you know, confusion and, you know, you don't know what's going on. We've been able to bond even tighter. So I want to give a shout out to them that they didn't just bail out, man, when things got a little tough. So shout out to the family.
All right. And I have a very special shout out. This is for me and the king. Our grandmother's birthday was today. She would have been 103 or 104, Chris?
104.
104. So, Big Mama, just want to tell you we love you. We miss you very dearly. We miss you so much. And the family is still doing what we got to do. But this show is dedicated to you. Big Mama, Marjorie Gossett, we love you. And thank you for everything.
Shout out.
And we miss her.
Yeah, no doubt.
And also, to share your comments, hit us up on all our social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, IG, and SoundCloud at 4G Sports, Sports with the Z. You can also hit us up on Facebook at 4G Sports with the Z and at Gentleman Sports on Facebook. So once again, it was a great show. Of course.
Get out of here with that.
It's lonely at the top, baby. Man. Once again, thank you. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.